this again.
We're doing this again.
Welcome to week 4 or 7, or maybe 2, depending on
week 23.
How we feel. Of our webcast series. Welcome to the YEG Photography Webcast with dbphotographics. I'm Dave.
I'm Brad.
All right, what should we talk about?
I want to talk about our work with theater groups.
Promotion.
Yes.
Promotion.
Yes.
Let's talk about promotion.
I get very excited about it. I know if you remember from our introductory webcast, Dave actually.
That definitely is video 1.
That was one.
That was video 1.
Dave got started in photography basically because the theater shows that you were working on, you wanted to do the posters. You needed photos for the posters. Yeah. And therefore you started doing poster design.
Yeah.
You've of course kept that going, and some great work. So
and I'm no illustrator. I can't do the drawings. So a lot of that photography became the way of kind of getting central images for the productions that we were doing.
And I love working with theater groups. I don't have a theater degree like you do, but I love being in on those conversations when we work with the different, whether it's on set or before we do a shoot, figuring out what the whole theme and feel, etc. are.
Right.
We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think, and I think I can speak for both of us. The work that we do with theater companies is probably some of our most exciting. It is probably some of our most fun. Yeah. It is definitely most creative. It's the time when we really get to start kind of building images and building entire kind of trying to sell a concept in an image, and that's really kind of, I think, the spot that we first and foremost come from.
And not that our portraits and weddings don't have that artistic
element. And in fact,
to
that sensibility actually feeds into the way that we shoot weddings and we shoot portraits and that kind of thing.
But nothing's like a theater shoot than a theater shoot. So.
That's right. So when we're doing these kind of things, some of the first things that we really want to consider, and an idea in this 21st century brand is so important, and that is one of the big ideas we really try and work with, especially if we've worked with a theater company multiple times.
Send in the Girls.
Send in the Girls Burlesque, which is an awesome burlesque / theater troupe here in town. We've been working with kind of since their inception, and from the beginning, it was always just wanting to make their images not look like what you would think of when you think of burlesque. It needed to tie in those ideas that this is going to be a theater show. This is going to be. It's going to have, it's burlesque built around a play, and a lot of what we've done kind of from the get-go is building around that idea.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of evolved a little bit. A lot of the beginning was very, very similar, trying to keep that theme. So
here's kind of the very first kind of poster that we did for them for their show at the Edmonton Fringe called the Tutor Queens.
I love this poster.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So it's got the girls kind of really kind of centered on a black ground. They're actually all lying on the ground, and I'm up on a ladder, kind of shooting down. And this is kind of a place where we started with these with the group is kind of within a black space, putting them in and just kind of letting them do the information, and really on kind of this is where the brand tone was set. That we wanted to highlight them and kind of have a uniqueness. So with this kind of having that Tutor Queen feel to it, they're all kind of in a variation of gold and
but then kind of evolving to, would you say?
Their next show is Bronte Burlesque, which has them again. So you can see the 3 girls here on the image. You can see the 3 girls again from a top-down perspective. Now we've got a little bit more information. So we've got kind of all the pages around. That have little bits and pieces kind of from the Bronte writings strewn about, and them just looking up. Again, not necessarily what they're wearing too revealing, but just enough that you get the sense that this is a burlesque, but it has that kind of theater piece put in on it.
It's right married together.
Yeah.
Then after that would that be more into the Hollywood land?
Yeah. So then from there, so I guess when you kind of look at this one, it has that same feel, but now we're no longer looking down. We're looking more straight at them. And actually, we did a variation because they remounted their Bronte show. So we did a variation of what actually looks similar. You can actually see an evolution in kind of this version of their Bronte poster. But now when we cut to looking at the Hollywood land burlesques, you can see it's really got that sense of power and again, what they're wearing. The whole picture really kind of floats, and I just love the smoke in the background.
Yeah.
It has that really Hollywood
And that
production feel to
and
it.
that was kind of more happy accident on set.
They happen to have a smoke machine, which always helps.
Got to use it if you have it.
And then this latest incarnation, we broke the mold in terms of what we were doing with them.
Went outside.
Yep, and went actually outside. So we went to a local bar, the Mercer Tavern, and did a lot of production. So this is a lot. So a lot of stuff in terms of they're thieves, they're pickpockets, they're a little bit dodgy. So for their show Bust 'Em Up Burlesque, we were able to kind of again recreate a grouping of the girls, similar, had the same kind of feel, but now we're putting them in an actual physical location as opposed to just using the background or the black to kind of fill in the difference.
And Mercer Tavern's fantastic and has.
We've been there for a variety of different shoots.
And they actually have an old bank vault.
Right, which really worked out quite well.
Very well.
So that's kind of like when we're talking about the brand, you can kind of see when we kind of put these posters kind of next to each other, you can see the evolution, but we hope, and the intent is when you look at that you instantly recognize it as one of their productions, one of their shows, and it informs you both from that kind of here's where this is set, here's what we're hitting, but also that it has that like burlesque undertone to it, that feel to it.
For sure. What else is important when we're talking about working with our theater people?
Well, when I guess, and if you look through kind of our roster, our portfolio of kind of design work that we've done, everything we do is image focused. It's very seldom do we use text. We really, if it was a perfect world, we would really have limited text on most of the things that we do, because we really want the image itself to help sell the production. And one of the main angles that we go after that is kind of hitting emotion. We want you to be able to look at it and get a sense of who these characters are, what they're feeling, maybe a sense of the general, like the overall tone of the show.
Right, and like when working with theater, yes. I guess there was
several times with that group.
There was like talk about the feel and the emotion, the laws of thermodynamics.
Yes.
That we went to
we'll toss a couple of these up. So this was a show, and talking with kind of their artistic team, a post-apocalyptic world, and there's images of like Mad Max and that kind of stuff, that those kind of go-to post-apocalyptic barren wasteland type stuff. But we really wanted to kind of really go more on the kind of junk feel, the collection, the remains of
a regular guy who's put into this,
like wandering in there.
It just happens to be in.
So we went to kind of a local industrial scrapyard, which was one of our favorite places to shoot, and got some of these. So this one here is the character Cody Porter. He's wearing his gas mask, and he's inside of an actual, like the trailer of a semi truck where the lid is ripped off, and you can actually look at the top and see there's another truck piled on it.
Yeah.
None of this is Photoshop. This is what actually was there. And then the other ones are just him kind of standing on a mountain with this kind of nice silhouetted look, and you can see the gas mask and all that kind of stuff. So we really wanted to get this sense of, the suit was really important to kind of have that juxtaposition of like the nice clean suit in a place where it feels like it shouldn't be. Gas mask instantly kind of hits that feel of post-apocalyptic.
And the same theater group, I want to talk about Bone Cage, the show we did, because there's two parts that I want to talk about. One, you talk about the emotion, and then another would be using location as well. So where did we end up shooting?
Well, we actually, so this was done under kind of one of the big bridges that we've got in town, under a rail bridge. What we've shot here before, we've actually done an engagement shoot at this place, but
they weren't screaming.
No, they weren't screaming. But for this, a lot of what we talked about was this idea of just pure raw emotion.
Well, finding out what the show is about.
Yeah,
what's this character go through, and that's done with working with Heather from the group, and talking about what does this person ultimately need to portray.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, this image needs to tell people what the show is about to get that emotion out.
Yeah.
So
I think from here, like there was a lot of talk about kind of just frustration in their circumstances, being kind of trapped where they were and not being able to kind of escape from the life that they were leading. And so we talked a lot about this idea of just like a gut-wrenching scream, like a howl at the moon kind of thing.
And he really did that.
And yeah, so we got him to climb up, and Neil was very brave and got up on the bridge and just did these like loud scream. And Also knowing when you're kind of shooting for these things, when you're shooting for a poster, we really try in most of what we do to get what we can in camera, not have to do a ton of ads in Photoshop later. We try and get the image the first time. So in building this, we knew it. We wanted a real kind of minimalist feel to the
Probably
poster.
black and white.
Yeah, it was going to be black and white. We eventually ended even just on a Helvetica font for the actual title, so it's not the letters are just very, very clean, very, very stark in that sense. And we just wanted the central image to just be him screaming, and feel like that would kind of get you in on the feel.
And I want to talk about the emotion as well, because we did this kind of leads into what we want to talk about as well, like the social media aspect.
Right.
We did a follow-up shoot with the cast of the show.
Right.
And this is what I love is working with the actor, photographer, and the director, and figuring out what the emotion needs to be.
Yeah.
And here's a little a strip of a whole bunch of headshots.
What's neat about this, I mean, from a location standpoint, this was just the back hall of their rehearsal hall, which is an old church.
We just kind of did a scan around, and we did. Of course, we always have use each other as test subjects, but this was perfect with the light, the way it was hitting. There's no lighting. We didn't use any actual.
No, we just used what came in from the door.
But each of these actors, when they got into that doorway, Heather would talk to them about
give them a quick little coach,
what this
quick little
character is
direction.
about. What do we want to portray? Because this is going to be who they are or what they're putting onto their Facebook or whatnot. Yeah. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, and that's as the 21st century is here, we're living in it. One of the things that as we kind of do these things, it's truly evolved, even in the short time that we've been doing this, from a real focus on kind of a physical 11 by 17 poster. What can we get for a poster? And it has really morphed into having requirements for social media. And I think that's one of the big directions, if we could give any advice to kind of groups that we work with, is to start more focusing on the social media stuff. So we've started really building, when we're doing these shoots, building things specifically for Facebook. So Facebook cover photos. And one of the things that we've learned as having our own business in terms of marketing and getting things to share through social media is things get a lot more, images get a lot more share if they come from an individual person's page versus kind of your Facebook page, your official kind of business page. Yeah. Of course, they want you to pay for it. They want you to, send in for that advertising. But if you can build content that is specifically for the company, so what we really try and do when we do that, we'll do a lot of individual character shots so that everyone can have their own Facebook banner. They can put that, they can share, and then they can promote the show on an individual level.
You do that all right on there.
And we build that with that intention, right? So we typically will give like a group version of a cover photo that the page can use, and then individual, like every character could have their own, because we find that that's a really great way of getting that information out there from a Facebook, from a Twitter, from an Instagram perspective. We really think that the image is what now sells it. You're basically trying to build something that people will click.
There's so much more online instead of like printed up paper, which is still important.
Yep. So I think that is just our toes in the water on why we love doing this stuff. It's pretty awesome.
But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's the collaboration, the emotion, and the branding. I think.
I think those are the things to think about. So if you're in the looking to promote your kind of next production, those definitely keeping those main concepts in mind of are you building a cohesive brand, especially if you are. This isn't the only show that you plan on doing. Is there a look? Is there a feel? Is there a recognizable element to your production company, to your group? When they look at that, will people start to begin to see a pattern? Will they recognize that this is coming from a specific group and what they can expect? Yeah. Do they get a sense of what the show is about? What they're going to feel? What the characters are feeling? Is there a sense of emotion? And lastly, thinking about not just kind of a physical paper promotion. How can you bring in social media to it? How can you construct images that are going to get people to click and want to find out more?
Right. Excellent. Well, that's our talk about working with theater. Again, as always, if you have some comments, questions, we'd love to read them at the bottom there.
Check out our website at dbphotographics.ca, and there's a section under design if you want to kind of see some of the posters that we've
arts
done.
we have, yeah.
It's under arts, and then under design you can see the posters we've done. If you click the theater section, you'll see a bunch of kind of the scattering of promotional images, some of that you've seen here, and a whole bunch of others that we didn't get to talk about today.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thanks for sharing, Dave. You do good work.
We do good work. Once again, thanks, and we'll talk to you guys some other time.
Yeah, see you next time.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much for watching this video.
I know we just said goodbye, but we thought we'd just remind you that we are on the social medias.
Yeah, look out for DB Photographics anywhere where the internet is.
Yes.
And if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you click subscribe here.
Right on
Here.
this.
In this
button somewhere right.
Put it out of my face.
I don't know.
In this box.
I don't know. It's
We're gonna
probably
hate
not
this
here.
later.
Yeah.